there's a quality to the chanting, and it's not even exactly like the quality of the voice or the quality of the musicianship, but there's just a spiritual quality.
Mm.
And I find when you start chanting, you hit that space. It's just right there. I find it so good. And one of my favorite kirtans was the one that you led that day that we were at that place near Radhakund. Do you remember that? And I asked you to chant that Bengali. We were like, I don't even know what that place was. It was just like this home that people cook, a little mini ashram, and this family cooks. And we went there at lunchtime, and they were cooking up the lunch, and we were sitting there in one room, and there was like a room full of just like Bengali pilgrims, just like all lying on the floor. Right? They came to go see Radhakund, and they're just like all lying on the floor. You know
It's
how
an
they
Indian thing. You just
yeah.
lie on the floor and it's okay.
And there's a whole full, it's like a slave ship kind of tightness, it's like everyone's all packed in there. And then I said, Gandharva Girija, just chant this melody. And I just had her chant this Bengali melody.
Mm.
The one, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Mm.
Krishna, Hare Hare. So she started chanting that, and then all of a sudden, like the head started poking around the corner, and then they all got into it. But you really are one of my you're a wonderful devotee, and you've really become one of my favorite kirtan leaders. So
Mm.
I'm very thankful.
And you got a good story about coming into Bhakti. You want to share it briefly? You've
Got a
shared
great
it on the
love connection
show.
story too. That's another thing.
Came into Bhakti though.
But still, it's a great story.
That's a different story.
Yeah, it's a good story.
Okay. Want to share it again or
How I came into Bhakti?
how you came to Bhakti, your love connection, your whatever you like
Well,
today. How are you doing? So
I'm
we met you.
overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed, to be honest.
Okay.
I'm here, and it's just
A good overwhelm,
it's a
or
good
like
overwhelm.
this is too much for me.
No, it's a good overwhelm. It's my husband and I recently moved to North Carolina full time, and I used to be able to walk to the temple, and now I have to drive 2.5 hours if I want to go do seva, do service.
Mm.
And it's been I'm realizing how challenging it's been coming here and being just so immersed in being able to do Govardhan Parikram here every day. And, I go to Madan Mohan temple and Rukmini's there with her beads and she's like, hello, welcome. It's just, I'm like, what is happening? So I'm really, really, really overwhelmed, and hearing all these amazing souls, all their stories. It's just so nourishing. And I don't want to take this for granted. It's
Beautiful.
so overwhelming.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from the Govardhan Eco Village in beautiful Maharashtra, India. This is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily, why do I say that every time? A Bhakti Yoga podcast with your host, Radhanath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York City, Kustubadas. Welcome to the show. It is Wednesday, January 4th, 2026. It's episode 1722. Good morning, beautiful people.
January 14th.
What did I say?
4th.
January 14th.
Yeah.
All right, count down. We're having a great time here, and we're here with our Wisdom of the Sages Wisdom Training Retreat. It's going good. It's going very good. I people always say this. Are you just saying this? But I am really saying this may be one of the big. This one might be one of the best groups we've had.
We have been saying that steadily.
I've steadily since we first started doing it, but maybe they're just getting better.
No, but I think especially since maybe the last Italy thing. I think, or maybe like this past year, every time we've been saying boom, boom, right? It's been solid.
Well, yeah. And I think it's just because people are coming up in Bhakti and then they come back. And then it's like in the old days, we had to like lift everybody up. Now the people who come back for the second time and third time, they're lifting up the newbies. So it's like we have to play therapist less.
Okay.
Because sometimes we have to really break, okay, let's talk. We have to have a meeting. We have to have an intervention. But no, it's like people are just like in high spirits.
Yeah.
You know, and we have the biggest group ever.
Okay.
And then we get people who've sort of like been hanging out and they just jump in. We got Sui.
Sui's great.
Sui's great. She's just hanging out. She's like, I'm jumping in.
Got a great name too.
You got a great name. She's a tika from Costa Rica,
Yeah.
from San Jose.
Oh, maybe we got to bring her on today.
Yeah, let's bring her on.
She's never even seen the podcast, I don't think. Have you?
Oh my God.
No, look at that.
No.
You don't know what you're getting into.
Okay, let's pick her brain. Today is another day of Meet the Pilgrims. We find it very enlivening. Yesterday's was great. People have all different stories. They're coming to terms with I'm more than a material body. I'm coming to terms that I'm not here just to work, whatever, date, eat, get old and die. That there's got to be something more to life, and I think that is sort of the spiritual journey.
Yeah.
And people have been coming to India for millennia for the same reason.
True.
It's we're not first in this. This is we are following the footsteps of seekers, and India's always held a special place. It's a deep well of transcendental wisdom. People have come. They've tried to chop it up. They've tried to disparagingly look at it like, oh, this is nothing. These people are heathens. They don't understand. But India has shined through, and it's risen like a phoenix, and it's always been this bright light. And more than ever, right now, people are respecting the depth of the culture, of the wisdom, of the traditions, and there's been a whole resurrection, at least in the last 15 years, of this massive canon of Vedic thought from all over the world.
Yeah, it's appreciated.
Yeah.
Now there's this, but maybe right now what's really happening is India itself is kind of like catching on.
Having
to it, right, like
Indians themselves are appreciating.
their
Where when
own
we were
culture.
younger, the Indians were moving towards a Western paradigm.
Now they take the Western technologies or the Western forums and they use them to appreciate their own culture.
Sure.
Like these kirtans that are going on, stuff like that, right? These big kirtans.
Oh,
Kirtan
yeah.
clubbing? What is it called? Bhajan club? What is it?
Bhajan clubbing is
What do you
one.
think about that bhajan clubbing?
I say whatever brings the consciousness higher.
All right.
Bhajan clubbing, if you don't know, is like I think with a lot of people who grew up in Indian families, strict Indian families, there's an appreciation, even if they weren't that strict, there's an appreciation for the culture anyway. And so now people, and if you're a little bit progressive and moving towards the West, even the West is giving up alcohol. Like it's very, it is, I think it's getting like more and more sort of like, what are you, dumb?
Like cigarettes?
Just like what cigarettes was. Your teachers smoked in school. There's like smoking area for the teachers. You could smoke in airplanes. Remember that? How crazy was that? Or in a bus? Now it's like that. They have rooms at the airports, the smoking room. It's like humiliating going in that room. It's like the room of shame.
You've gone in?
I've never gone in, but I look at them and they have a window, and all the people are like satiated, walking. Look, what is the matter with you?
You're weak.
I know. And so with the big up curve towards health and self-betterment, self-improvement, I think the whole alcohol industry, as well as the red milk industry, the
Red milk.
the red milk. Did I say red milk? Yeah, strawberry quick is going down fast. Junk food. It's just like taking a hit. Milk and dairy meat and dairy industry is suffering.
Is it?
It is.
Are you sure?
Yes, it is.
All right.
Yeah.
You got stats?
I don't have.
All right.
I just know these things.
Okay.
Know these things.
All right.
So anyway, to make a long story short, India's on the rise with this bhajan clubbing. People are going out to bhaj, alcohol free, that their families have sent. And then
They want to do it in the context of their faith.
yeah. And same with these kirtans. And a lot of people, grew up Krishnas. Gopi just did a massive tour, erotic, massive tour. It's just like impressive.
Okay.
And he is really taking to it.
Okay.
What to speak of Madhav's Rock? They're massive.
Yeah.
All
Why don't we
dairy is declining significantly over the last decade. Just so you know.
What is? Meat and dairy.
Steadily-
Thank you. There's our stats. Steadily declining.
All right, we're back. Thank you.
Milk.
Red milk.
Yeah, Strawberry Quick is on the decline, and I'm upset about it. Strawberry Quick, are you kidding? That little rabbit, he's going to be out of a job soon.
Poor bunny. All right. Announcements?
Okay,
Okay.
here we are. We're back, people.
We're back. Our next show is going to be Sunday, 6 a.m. Eastern time.
Okay.
Yep, on Sunday, which is a weird day and a weird time for us, but that's when the next show is. Also, Kastuba's drop-in classes on our Sage community platform.
I don't like this dropping. Just say you're putting up.
Okay. Kastuba's
Dropping. It's like we're like trying to be homeboys. Oh, we're dropping some of the new tracks. Check it out.
Kastuba will be posting.
He's getting cranky today. He's hangry.
I'm not hangry. I just don't like
I'm
that.
angry.
Haven't reacted to that yet.
All right. Classes will be uploaded to the Sage community platform on a daily basis. And Bhakti Recovery Group meetings are happening online and in person.
What?
There's one in Philadelphia this evening, 7 p.m. at the Bhakti Garden. And for more info, you can go to bhaktirecoverygroup.com and check out their online meeting list.
Alrighty.
Let's get this thing started.
Let's get this party started. All right. My brother, come on down here.
Don't
Yeah.
say brother. Just say.
I couldn't remember his name. I had to. It was embarrassing. I was going to very coyly try to have him reveal his name. Since I know you so well, why don't you introduce yourself to the people that don't?
Yes. So thank you for having me here.
You got to speak right into the mic.
Yeah. My name is Johannes.
Johannes.
So I'm coming from Germany. Black
With
Forest.
a name like Johannes, there's a really good chance you're coming from Germany.
Yeah. Sure.
In the Black Forest.
Black Forest. Okay.
Yeah, near Freiburg.
That's
You know
that's
Freiburg.
Freiburg is one of the most beautiful cities out there.
Yeah. So you have been in Freiburg?
Yeah.
Yes. Me think you have playing in the Atlantic
Yeah.
because
Ah.
there's a big picture of the wall from the shelter show with you and life size of
A
you.
life-size picture of me,
Yeah.
like
It's
painted
big.
on the wall.
No, picture, not painted on the
A
wall.
picture, a photograph.
Yeah,
Okay.
not the whole band, and I don't know when it was, maybe mid-90s or so.
Yeah. We played Freiburg many times. It's like a super beautiful city. You been there? It's got like little creeks running down the alleys.
Yeah.
Okay. So how are you? What's your story? Tell us your story, sir.
So
You're hardcore. You're from the hardcore music scene.
yes. So the point was that so me, having had a hard school time, I was stuttering very much. So my speaking was not so easy. Now it's only when I'm really excited, like now a little bit.
It's
And so
a good thing that you're studying a little bit, right?
yeah. So and because of then I found myself in skateboarding a lot, on skate punk rock, and then I know about Shelter, who was a fan that time, listen the songs very much, and then I had my school stuff going on, and then I partied again a lot. Until I had this gallstone stuff going on, and I
Wow.
really pain, and
That ends the party.
went to book Shivananda yoga teacher training course.
Where was that?
I went to India, to Madurai in the ashram. Yeah, and on the path, and I was really inspired.
Hmm.
Then I came back. I was starting with yoga classes, little singing circle, kirtan. I
Wow.
started to do, and then 2 years later, the Radhan, Radhanath's book got translated into German. So
Wait, who's Radhanath Swami's book?
yeah,
Did we get your name?
Johannes.
Johannes.
Johannes from
Johannes.
Germany. Black
Johannes from the Black Forest.
So,
Yeah,
Stuttgart.
Stuttgart, exactly. And there was this talk by Radhanath Swami, and Somia was sitting there and recorded it with my little Zoom recording device. And
Mm.
next to me there was this guy from the biggest yoga magazine from Germany, and he saw me having this device, and he came later to me. Hey, do you have time the next 2 hours? I have an appointment with Radhanath Swami, and I want to record it. So sure, I have time, and I went there in the backstage and recorded it, and it was so good to spend 1 hour sitting next to him, and it really inspired me that day so much.
Well, Lord Chaitanya said, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, that even if for a moment's time with the great soul can change the entire trajectory of your life. Even a moment, you meet someone, you're like, oh my God, what does that person have? I've never met anybody like that before. And then all of a sudden, your life will never be the same again. So this is what happens. You had some desire in your heart. Krishna made some arrangement. You got invited, whatever, backstage or whatever it was called. And it must have left a dent.
Yeah, it was really, really impressing for me, and left an imprint. Yeah. So and then I did my life in up and downs. So I had many years which were really good in yoga teaching on the path, but then also some back clashes. I don't know the name.
Falling backwards. Yeah,
falling backwards.
it happens.
Yeah, but it happens. So now I just came from Panchakarma, which I did the last 3 weeks, and so happy to be back here.
Come on down here, sir. Ethan. That's right. Ethan. Welcome, Ethan. Ethan's a musician and a kirtan guy, too.
Yeah.
Tell us your story.
Okay.
Right to your mouth with this mic. I'm going to look this way, but I'm looking at you. If I look backwards, and it's going to look weird to them. So you look at him. I'll look here.
I'm also worried I might be the one who's cursing your Wi-Fi, because the first time I led a kirtan, we usually live stream it. Nupur, both run this Bhakti studio there, and is daily. And
Their kids are into it too, right?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, their son led a lot of the kirtans. But happened. First started, the seed was planted like 3 years ago on my first trip to India. At the time, I was living out of a backpack, and I had sold pretty much all my belongings, living out of a carry-on size backpack. And I had no original intention of going to India, but a lot of serendipitous happenings, I think I was kind of brought there. And so
Krishna miracles.
Krishna miracles.
Were you reading all the typical books, the autobiography of Yogi, the Be Here Now? Was that like, were you that kind of guy?
No, not yet. But
Carlos
I did later.
Castaneda?
I did read. First,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but what were you? What was the nature of your searching?
Yeah, so I'd been reading a lot of spiritual books at that time, kind of introduced to like Eckhart Tolle and stuff like that. For yoga teacher training in Rishikesh.
Nice.
And that was in February. And
just this past February?
No, that was 3 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, but it comes back.
Yeah.
And so I was doing that, and it was really kind of life-changing experience in a lot of ways. And suddenly like God all the time, and I never really thought about my belief system, but I was hearing all these things, learning about reincarnation, all that stuff, and it was almost as if I had always known it to be true.
Okay.
And got exposed to Bhakti there. I guess there was a Bhakti fest. I didn't even know it was Bhakti at the time. I just knew there was like singing across the street, people gathering, and like free food, and people who were like really into Krishna. And I didn't get it at the time, but now I'm starting to get it.
Where were you then? In
Rishikesh.
Oh, in Rishikesh.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, that's our people.
And I was thinking
we're part of that festival.
Garanga was actually the guy leading
Garanga.
it. And I like ran into him here too at the entrance randomly. I was like, "Oh, you were the guy who like was there at the first kirtan that I was a part of." And but that was like planted the seed. And then it was actually a few years after that I'd moved back to Seattle, getting a job again, and was listening to talks by Krishna Das.
Okay.
He has like workshops that are on Spotify, and it was the first time I was listening to someone talk about spirituality that I felt like I could like relate to, and felt really down to earth. And he like used a lot of sarcastic humor and was swearing a lot, which I also do.
Swearing, a very important aspect of conveyance of spiritual knowledge. Yes.
Yeah. And one of the things that he said that stuck to me, that got me chanting, he said, Ram Nam Karne Se Sapura Ho Jata, which is something that his guru had told him, Neem Karoli Baba, that, you know, through repetition of the names of Ram to the names of God, all of your past karmas are brought to completion and made whole. And so I was like, that day I just started chanting. I was like, well, it couldn't hurt. And I was chanting on my lunch breaks and things like that. And then I picked up a harmonium, started learning chanting, and then wanted to find a group that did kirtan. So I literally just Googled Kirtan Seattle, and then Bhakti Studio was the one that popped up. And so I started going there, and they had me start singing backup. And then Radhanath Swami came to town like a few months later, and they asked me to sing backup kirtan with Radhanath Swami. And he did a book signing at the end. And when I talked to him, I was telling him about how I had read The Journey Home while I was in India, and I like couldn't believe that he like threw his harmonica in the river or whatever for spiritual growth. And I told him like when I had read that part, like I dropped the book. I was like, I can't believe that you did that. And he just looked at me like kind of really confused. But then he told me I should come to the Govardhan Eco Village. And I said I would go. I had no idea when I would. And then I found out from being here that then the Bhakti Studio started looking for opportunities to come here. And that's when I heard about the Wisdom of the Sages retreat. And I'd never heard of you guys before. And honestly, I was a little like skeptical at first before I listened.
Yeah, I would, you know. I'm skeptical. Who are you?
Yeah.
I'm a little skeptical, and then I like him now.
Yeah.
I've grown to like him a lot.
But I started listening to you guys' podcast. I was like, oh, this is the real deal. And decided to make the trip out. And it's just been an amazing experience getting involved in Bhakti and Kirtan. And it was just so crazy for me as a musician to have like a spiritual practice where singing and dancing like was your spiritual practice. And it just felt like cheating to me. It was so easy. And
It's so easy.
So, and I've just noticed so many openings in my heart and in my life since starting it, and deepening my faith so much, even in just the few days that I've been here. It's been really profoundly beautiful.
So good. Great place, isn't this? It's even you've traveled in India, you know, it's like it can be a real headache.
Yeah, I describe it as like all the adjectives you can think of. That's what it's like.
Yeah, all of it. The very high and the very low, everything. It's and loud.
All the swearing too.
Yeah, well, that's a great story, and I think maybe you should sit closer to me tonight. I'll have you sing with me too.
I would
Like
love
I
to.
have Maya sing, or that'd be great.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate that.
All right, thank you, Prabhu.
Speaking of backup singers, we got a famous one here. We may be bringing her on the show soon.
Who we got?
Well,
Gundar, because
she used to sing backup for John Cougar Mellencamp.
well, bring her down here. Gandharvika Giridhari, get over here. She's one of our regular
She doesn't like I
Zoomers.
say that all the time, but I think it's great.
She's one of our regular Zoomies.
She has actually become one of my favorite kirtan leaders in the entire world. No, I'm dead serious. Like when she chants, there's certain people that chant, like when Niranjana Swami chants.
Love it.
It's just for me, it's like there's a quality to the chanting, you know, and it's not even exactly like the quality of the voice or the quality of the musicianship, but there's just a spiritual quality. And I find when you start chanting, you hit that space. It's just right there. I find it so good. And one of my favorite kirtans was the one that you led that day that we were at that place near Radhakund. Do you remember that? And I asked you to chant that Bengali. We were like, I don't even know what that place was. It was just like this home that people cook, a little mini ashram, and this family cooks. And we went there at lunchtime, and they were cooking up the lunch. And we were sitting there in one room, and there was like a room full of just like Bengali pilgrims, just like all lying on the floor. Right? They came to go see Radhakund, and they're just like all lying on the floor. You know how
It's an
they
Indian thing. You just
Yeah.
lie on the floor and it's okay.
and there's a whole full. It's like a slave ship kind of tightness. You know, it's like everyone's all packed in there. And then I said, Gandharva Giridhar, just chant and just chant this melody. And I just had her chant this Bengali melody. You know the one, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hmm.
Krishna, Hare Hare. So she started chanting that, and then all of a sudden, like the head started poking around the corner, you know, and then they all got into it. But you really are one of my you're a wonderful devotee, and you've really become one of my favorite kirtan leaders. So
Mm.
I'm very thankful.
And you got a good story about coming into Bhakti. You want to share it briefly? You've
Got a
shared
great
it on
love
the
connection
show.
story too. That's another thing.
Came into Bhakti though.
But still, it's a great story.
That's a different story.
Yeah, it's a good story.
Okay. You want to share it again, or
How I came into Bhakti?
how you came to Bhakti, your love connection, your whatever you like
Well-
today. How are you doing? So
I'm
we met you.
overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed, to be honest.
Okay.
I'm here, and it's
A good overwhelm,
It's a
or
good
like
overwhelm.
this is too much for me.
no, it's a good overwhelm. It's you know, my husband and I recently moved to North Carolina full time, and I used to be able to walk to the temple, and now I have to drive 2.5 hours if I want to go do seva, do service.
Hmm.
And it's been you know, I'm realizing how challenging it's been coming here and being just so immersed in being able to do Govardhan Parikram here every day. And, you know, I go to Madan Mohan temple and Rukmini's there with her beads, and she's like, "Hello, welcome." It's just, I'm like, what is happening? So I'm really overwhelmed, and hearing all these amazing souls, all their stories. It's just so nourishing. And I don't want to take this for granted. It's just
Beautiful.
so overwhelming.
You know, they say that, this is what I think. Sometimes people just live in a place and they're unhappy with it. They're unhappy with their home. They're unhappy with their neighborhood. Maybe they can't afford it. And just the environment causes them hell, and they just suffer because of it. Then there's people who are just like very successful. They live where they want. They love their home. They love their place. They love their town. They love their city. They love their village. You know, in the material world, we call that like losers and winners. But devotees are different. We want to move where devotees are. We like devotees. We like being around devotees. We like a community of people. And I wouldn't pick a paradise tropical island in the Philippines or Hawaii or wherever it is if there were no devotees nearby. That it just makes you joyful. There's no material mode of goodness unless there's devotees nearby. So you have this beautiful property, but there's no devotees. I think you're no. Now the thing is, your thing is, how can devotees come?
Yeah, we're trying to engage in service.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
see.
And that's when your joy will really peak. Like, how can I use all this? Because it's very beautiful, and I understand getting out of the city and country life. And now you got to figure out how you can make locals into devotees. And because you're a good teacher, a good singer, and your husband's very wise, and bring people there, the devotee camp out, and that's beautiful property.
And I think about you telling this story all the time, and I think about Jatayu. I think about Jatayu. Sometimes, again, I don't want to compare myself to Jatayu,
I will.
but sometimes I'm up there, and I feel like, oh, I'm such a failure. But then I think about Jatayu, and he wasn't a failure, even though he failed. And I'm a lot of churning here. I'm just thinking a lot about, trying to engage this place that Krishna has entrusted us, where we have this property, trying to engage it in service. And it may not be successful. I don't know. We're giving it a shot just to see. But it's really interesting, having these thoughts of, it's slow going. It's not, it's pretty stagnant, and, maybe this will fail, but I think about that story a lot. As long as I remember, as long as I remember who I belong to, who I am, who I really am.
Sure.
And that, this failure can, be glorious. If
This
I'm remembering.
Govardhan Eco Village was also slow going. It didn't just like pop out, for years. It was just getting built up and built up and built up. Even when we first got here, they had it for years before that, and there was another one before this. And they just were like, you know what? This ain't the place. And they ended up selling that, starting all over, getting this property. So sometimes great things take time. And I trust your integrity. It's going to work out great. Are you having a good time? Are you having a good time?
Having an amazing
You've been
time.
here before,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Abundance of blessings.
You're blessed. Anyway, thanks for sharing.
Thanks, Prabhuji's.
Okay. I'm happy you're here.
I'm so happy to be here.
Good. Come sing with us.
Let's hear for Gandharvika Giridhar. Here you
Howdy,
go.
Bo.
She's one of these people. I was watching her. She's kind of new. She's around. Who is this? She's on the pilgrimage, and then like the kirtan starts, and she starts crying. Then we start talking. She starts crying more. I say, okay, this can't be real.
Mm.
She's got to. Maybe she's a little mentally disturbed. Maybe she's this. Maybe she's that. And then after a short while, I begin to realize, oh no,
She's just enlightened.
she's just way more advanced than I am.
Yeah.
She's
Got that.
we may know more things or have understood the philosophy better or have this or that, but sometimes people come along and you're just like,
He's picking it up from a previous life.
yeah, that's
Like no big deal.
She's special, very special.
Sam, come on down. We got Sam here.
Okay, Sam.
We don't know very well, but we know Lenny very well.
Yeah, she came with Lenny.
And they're newly married, right?
Newly married? Congratulations. Come and have a seat. You got to speak right into the microphone.
How are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
And you guys live in Philly or New Jersey?
We live outside Philadelphia.
Okay, cool. And what's your Bhakti journey, madam?
So my Bhakti journey, I'd say it's the seeds have been being planted for a while, probably for the last 10 or so years, since my mid-20s. I started, that's when I started developing my yoga asana practice, did a 200-hour teacher training. It was very, the philosophy was very light. It wasn't my focus at the time. So fast forward many years, I moved to Philly to start to do my PhD.
Where were you before that?
I was in Texas. That's where I'm from.
Where in Texas?
I'm from Houston.
Okay, Houston, Texas.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of Bhakti in Houston. Yeah.
I didn't know about it then.
Okay.
No. So fast forward, I moved to Philly to do my PhD, and a few years in, things are going very well, academically and career wise, but internally, not so much. And it's the kind of further along that I get, things were looking really promising for me to get a great academic job when I graduated, and it just the further along that I got, the kind of the emptier it all felt, and the more internally I was struggling, chronic pain issues, anxiety, insomnia.
Wow.
So that led me down a path to really just trying a lot of alternative remedies. I found breath work and journaling, and that was really started this, what I call an emotional excavation kind of process, where I started
Nice.
peeling back the onions of just years and years of emotional repression, and realized that I wanted and needed to fundamentally change
Wow.
the direction that my life was going in. I was going to finish my PhD, but then I was going to leave academia and try to make a lot more space in my life for spiritual growth, family, those sorts of things. So
Parents freaking out at this point? They're good.
yes, they were concerned. They're always very supportive, but that
not
process,
the-
it was a heavy process.
Yeah, right.
So it was hard for them to
Right.
witness.
But it just means it takes a little extra courage because everybody's looking at you saying, what are you doing? You're on the path. Keep going on it. Keep going on it. Keep going on. You're like, but the more that I go on it, the more that I feel like this is not leading me anywhere.
Exactly. Yeah, and it was certainly one of the big things that I realized at that time was that I had been driven a lot by pursuing reputation and status and prestige through my career, and
That's there in the academic world, big time.
absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's challenging.
But then very freeing once I kind of decided to take the leap out of that.
Wow. She's already climbed the ladder of success. she's realizing as she's almost at the top that this is leaning against the wrong wall. I don't want this. And you took that's a very big leap, you know.
Yeah, and it
Where did
was
you land?
well, I landed shortly after that when I graduated. I met Lenny.
Uh-oh. Right into Bhakti Lenny. That'll do.
Right into Bhakti Lenny. So I mean from our first date I could tell that there was something different with this one. And I wanted to learn more, and
Wait a
so
second. What do your parents think about him? See, like, he's the guy that ruined your PhD.
no, I had already graduated at this point.
Okay.
So
Okay.
My parents were I wouldn't say comfortable with the Hare Krishna thing at first.
Reasonable.
Um
Yeah. Reservation, those Texans, except Sarah Ditto.
Yeah, but I knew that he wasn't trying to get me to join a cult, but it took them a little bit time.
That means she's drinking the Kool-Aid now.
Or at least if he was, that I quickly realized it was a cult that I was like happy to be a part of.
Well,
So.
now we want to hear about the first date. Now, what was the conversation? What was going on there? How did you know he was talking about Kirtan? Was he talking about Bhakti?
How did he drop the H? I'm sort of a Hare Krishna. How did that come into the conversation?
Well, we had already kind of set the stage that there was like a yoga, meditation, breath work kind of commonalities. So, yeah, so we talked about the Hare Krishna thing and a little bit more about
India.
Kirtan on that first day. Yeah, and his trips to India. It went well, and he invited me to our second date, which was to a Kirtan he was leading at the Bhakti Garden the next
Bhakti
week.
Garden. There you go. You met Haryashva that day?
Yep,
Oh,
met Haryashva.
Can't go wrong with meeting Haryashva.
Yeah, and so I grew up. I have a musical background, a big in musical theater, so I grew up performing.
This is
Favorite.
But something that really struck me about that Kirtan that I saw Lenny lead was that he was not leading from a place of ego.
right.
That it was service.
Service to get everybody involved.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what a kirtan leader is meant to do.
Yeah.
They're not
Mhm.
meant to be a star. They're meant to get everybody involved, everybody on the same platform, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And you could feel it immediately.
I could feel it. Yeah, I could sense it.
Lenny's got that just spiritual integrity too. That he's not some performer. He likes to learn all these things. He's here at the Mridanga school learning the drum, but he's not a performer. He's a bhakta. There's a difference.
Yeah. So, we had a few what I now realize were Krishna miracles like early on in our relationship. So I'll just share
Do tell.
share one. That it was on our first date when Lenny's sister lives in New York, and I mentioned, oh, my favorite restaurant in the world, Divya's Kitchen,
Mine too.
is in New York City, and at that
That's a Krishna miracle. It's mine too.
I had no idea that Divya was a devotee. I didn't know about the connection with the Bhakti Center or anything.
Right.
But I'd been going there for 8 or 9 years at that point. So with that, Lenny says like he knew at that point that
There's a love
this
connection.
was gonna be something. Yeah. And then I quickly started listening to the podcast just to learn more about his teachers,
Okay.
what he was learning. And that pretty quickly turned into me just becoming a daily other.
Okay.
Um,
I was getting worried.
and listening then just for my own benefit and my own edification.
How can we improve?
Oh, I mean, no notes.
Find your academic background to it. What was your PhD in?
It was in business strategy.
Oh, we really need help there.
This ship's got a leak in it.
Happy to be of service.
Okay.
But I started listening to Q&As. I listened to a lot of Q&As first.
Q&A shows.
And then I went back to episode 1.
Right. That worked for you. That
Yeah.
way. Good.
Oh, episode 1, we were wild. We were a couple pirates back then, just like.
Yeah.
It all happened here at the Govardhan Eco Village in 2020, January 1st. Wow. So
Yeah.
anyway, thank you for sharing that. Beautiful. And
Thank
how do you
you.
like the Govardhan Eco Village now? Was your first time in India?
It's my first time in India. Yeah, we got so obviously things progressed well from there. We got married in the
Okay.
summer, and we decided to come here and do Mridanga school for our honeymoon. So
That is a sweet
That's our
honeymoon. It's adorable. Everyone's heart is touched. Thank you. That's such a great story. All right. Thank you very much, Sam. That was great.
Really nice to hear. You tell
Yeah. It's 24.
24. We squeeze one more in.
Let's get Arjuna Prabhu down here.
Oh,
You want to come down, Arjuna? He's always got something good to say.
Here he comes. He's been on a serious program.
He's on a This guy is serious. I was just talking. He just got invited to move in with the brahmacharis in Chowpatty.
He
I
has
just
been-
talked to Sadhbuj and
Living that brahmachari lifestyle.
yeah. Prabhu, tell us your story. I've known this guy for 30 years almost. You don't have to tell the whole story because it's a good story. Tell us an abbreviated version of your story.
So I met
You got to talk right in that mic, brother.
I met Radhanath. We have some mutual friends, some musician friends, and I met him. And I really just met him as this guy, Ray. I didn't meet him like everyone else meets him. And so but we clicked, and he invited me to go to Costa Rica with him. And he was like, you can teach me. Yeah, right. It was amazing. He's like, hey, let's go to Costa Rica. You can teach me Krav Maga, and I'll teach you, Shastra. And so we went, and he was a raw foodist at the time, so he was only eating raw food.
It was like 140
Yeah,
pounds soaking wet.
yeah. And so every day we went out on the beach, and I read him stuff from the big book, and he read me the Bhagavad Gita, and he looked at me and he said, you're already devotee. This is Shastra. This is divine stuff here. And Bill Wilson's an avatar. And he said, I'm going on tour with my band, and why don't you come with me? We'll sell stickers in the parking lot and
Shelter stickers, band
so-
stickers.
yeah. And
You were in a corporate life. You were in a corporate life, and you were going through recovery.
yeah,
And then we sort of connected the dots between
yeah,
Bhakti and recovery.
yeah.
And I always thought that, these recovery people, man, they've got actually a lot to offer the Bhakti movement. And at the same time, the Bhakti people have a lot to offer the recovery movement.
Yeah.
And I'll just share a little if you don't mind. But Arjuna is like a black belt in Bhakti, in recovery, and in untying the knots of people's pain and trauma and emotional healing. And so I always like, this guy is such a great asset in Bhakti, because I think people in Bhakti, people in recovery, they're just so vulnerable and share so much. And sometimes, because there's this idea of a high bar in Bhakti, people are almost intimidated sometimes to share their pain or their shortcomings, because they feel like, well, I've got to zip myself up if I want to hang out with these people. And so a lot of the pain or the hurt, the trauma that you need to unload just gets pushed away or hidden in the closet, or you just throw a blanket over it, so to speak. And so keep going with your path on Bhakti,
So the
basically.
most pivotal moment was we were on the beach, and he made this, like, who doesn't want to go travel the world, right? But I was Arjuna on the battlefield, and I looked at him and I said, I was in a 100% commission job selling toner cartridges in a boiler room with just a bunch of weirdos. And like, I just made $100,000 selling toner cartridges over the phone. And I just met this girl that I was in love with. And I looked at him and I said, I just made $100,000 and I'm in love. And he looked at me and he said,
Give me the $100,000.
he looked at me. He looked at me and I couldn't believe it. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, he looked at me and he said, if your ladder of success is leaning up against the wrong building, who cares if you get to the top? And I was like, oh my God, like, that's like, I'm raised as like this Jewish kid from LA. I'm supposed to be an ist, an optometrist, a psychiatrist, an ophthalmologist. He's like, you need to quit and come follow me. And like, for the next 20.
That's how I preached back in the old
Yeah.
days. Quit your life
Yeah.
and follow me.
And so for the next 20 years, I licked the outside of the honey jar.
And then he started accelerating. Came to India with his 5 year, right? You were here in
2020.
2021?
2020.
2020?
Yeah. We went back
Wow.
just before lockdown.
Wow. And then he started
That's when I met-
accelerating. And we've been working because we've been sort of like in touch, out of touch, in touch, out of touch. And I could always tell he was on the line. Krishna had hooked into his heart. Didn't jive with all the devotees he met. And then we always just kept a strong connection. Then introduced him to this community, more of a strong and then finally I think you just got to these forks in the road. You're like, do you want Krishna? Or do you want materialism? And he gave up everything.
Yeah.
And recently just gave up everything, walked away from his life.
Yeah.
And he just really wants Krishna. And so he came to India on pilgrimage and then just said, I'm just going to stay in India. So he's been in India since the pilgrimage in October. And then he's been hanging out with the Chowpatty devotees.
When I heard that, I was like, wow, what a thing to do. In other words, you have this whole background in your life, but you came here, you said, let me take this chunk of time and do something that's kind of radical, which is just like go out into the streets of Mumbai with these monks and present Bhagavad Gita.
Crashing windows at the red light. Like the red lights hits.
Yeah.
And we're crashing windows, knocking on
That's
windows.
a hardcore thing to do.
Shoving books in their hand.
In the streets of Mumbai, which is like, hectic. You can't tell most Westerners, why don't you just go stand in the streets? It doesn't matter if you're terrible. That's the Jatayu thing, right? It's like, even if you fail, you succeed because of your intention was so right. And it means you're going to tolerate heat and tolerate insult and tolerate, the traffic and tolerate these things. But what do you learn? What do you gain? How does that change your life? And I think that's the kind of thing that the experience with spending time with those people who have dedicated their life just to that kind of service, seeing how they live, spending a little time with them and getting a feel for that. Even if you don't make that your life, but if you understand it, you understand so much more about life and how your own life can change too.
Yeah, for sure.
I was really impressed when I heard that. I thought that was a great thing to do.
Yeah. And I have the worst voice ever, and singing kirtan every night on the street, and then making me lead.
Making him lead.
Yeah, it was hard, but I loved it. So I'm going to go back.
Your desire was to serve Krishna, and Krishna said, okay, you're going to sing on the streets of Mumbai. But they loved him and they invited him back, so he's gonna go back and live with the brahmacharis more. And then we get him back. He's part of our community upstate now.
Thank you both for your grace and your blessings, your intolerance. Thank you so much.
Not only that, I should say, I've also seen in your mood, you're just adapting the mood of humility, of inquisitiveness, of service. That's what we're meant to understand. And I see you're really sincere. I mean, you have a lot of AA background. I think that's informed it a lot, but it's really playing out beautiful in a Bhakti setting.
No, you're not going anywhere. I was about to say something. Stay right here. I was just going to say that we were talking in our satsang in the morning that magic connection happens when someone approaches a teacher. It could even be someone who's just been in Bhakti a little bit longer than them, but approaches them in a mood of humility. Please tell us. In the same way you and I approached Harley Flanagan. Like, what is this book you're reading? In that mood, sets up a magic combination for God to touch that teacher and to speak through that person. And that's exactly what happened to us. And it's that mood that you're cultivating where you've and I've seen it because, you're a competent, successful person. You let go of a lot of like, I know, and you just come forward with in humility. And now you've become this empty vessel, like, fill me up. And people are giving you so much mercy. And you could just see this flow happening between so many, great teachers. And of course, these brahmacharis. I talked to the brahmachari leader there today, and he just said, oh, I just appreciate his Arjun Prabhu's, we love having him here. All he does is say, please teach me. Please teach me how to be a devotee. Teach me how to tie the dhoti properly. Teach me how to put on tilak properly. Teach me these songs properly. He goes, it's inspiring us. It's like that romantic time when we first came to the temple and we were so eager. He has that eagerness. And I tell you, that's how you get bhakti. You need that type of eagerness, and Krishna will actually come running looking for you. Thanks for sharing your story, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Devo. Great one. Great story.
Yeah. And I just want to say, we're throwing out Arjuna. All our people are going through so much emotional healing. He's just taking care of so many people right now. It's so good.
Yeah. Save.
Yeah.
Real save.
Real save. That type of stuff is really saving people's lives, saving their hearts, so they can actually practice bhakti. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Sorry about the connection today, and thanks, everybody, listening on Zoom.
We'll be back.
So tolerant. We'll be back Sunday at
6 a.m. Eastern time.
Thanks, Brian and Priya. 6 a.m. Eastern time. In the meantime,
See how many people we can get.
damn many people. 6 a.m. Eastern time. Come on, guys. You got it on a Sunday.
Do it, people.
Do it, you guys. Show up for us, please. Road Rage, please. Come on. Who else is joining late? Mons Brew is here.
Oh.
Ananta Devi Health Coaching is here. Brinkhouse G is here. Dalai Lama is here.
Glad we came back.
Thanks, everybody. It's going to be a magical day. It's a beautiful day for a beautiful day. Let the magic continue to flow. Maha Haribo.